Don't give me notes right now. Yeah, baby. We are back. NFL is back. Yeah, kind of physical. Technically, we had a game this week.
You're supposed to shut it off, dude. Jeez.
Oh, my bad, bro.
But
Wow,
My
we
bad.
have technical difficulties on our first show.
Yeah,
we
it's not
are
like we were here for 45 fucking minutes. Sorry, go ahead, Boopin.
we are in our technical. No, we are in our off season too, Chris. It's fine. It's totally cool. But yeah, we are back. Hopefully, you guys had a good off season. NFL's back. The Bears played this weekend, so we thought it'd be a good time to get back on. Talk a little Bears, bring you guys up to speed. Just share with you what we've been up to this off season. As always, I'm your co-host Boopen. I got my boys with me. Boys, say what's up.
Howdy.
Hi. Peace.
Miller's going Asian on us for some reason, but that's okay.
Hey, my boys were already on YouTube official, so they're basically streamers.
I don't know what that is. I'll Google that shortly. Chris,
I
take over.
sent you the video.
Yeah.
They were. I did see that.
It's his kid, so it's allowed.
Awesome. We got quite a long show for you, so we'll get started.
Short
Right
show.
away.
Short show. Okay. Short show.
Said that just to remind Miller. Before we start, we do this every week. I don't know if you guys want to start here. How's the off season been for you? Anything you want to talk about right off the bat? Anything big you guys want to share before we jump into the actual agenda of the show?
I'm not a college dropout anymore. That's basically the biggest news, and I'm gonna get possibly more, but we'll see.
Nice.
No, we're gonna get possibly more.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah,
It's expensive.
Hey, it's worth it. It's investing on you. Worth it.
That is true.
Exactly.
Miller, where you at?
Nothing. Just go.
Awesome. Yeah, it'll be a fun season, fun fantasy season. I feel like the top cream layer of the NFL, the 4 or 5 teams that are good, looks like they'll be good again. But I think in the middle, it'll be a lot of teams that there's a lot of hope. This is the hope season, right? A lot of hope. So the middle part of the NFL might make it interesting. The wild card, some of the division winners might be interesting. That's one thing I wanted to bring up. But since we are trying to get the crew up and running, the listeners up and running with all the changes in the NFL, I thought it might be a good idea, boys. You know I love doing this. I will share with you, okay, some of the changes that have come. I've grouped them by like position. So there's quarterbacks, there's wide receivers, coaches. Just throw it to you. If you have any reactions, if you think one will be more significant than the other, just throw it out there, okay?
Before we start,
Yes,
I
sir.
can still tell you're in the off-season mood. You forgot the key important thing before we do anything.
Social plug?
There it is.
Nice. Do we have a TikTok yet?
I'm pretty sure it's still banned, but just plug it in there anyway.
Boys, you can find us on Facebook on the Trio of Positivity podcast. We are at X at Trio Positivity. We have a YouTube channel, Trio of Positivity Podcast. And like I said, TikTok is questionable. We do have a blog that Chris supposedly is writing articles for.
Actually, I don't know if that was renewed.
Actually, it was accidentally renewed. It took the last of my $120 that I had in my account, but it renewed.
Man, someone keep a running tab on how much money you've spent.
We were supposed to cancel it.
Were supposed to cancel
someone in this group, I'm not pointing fingers, someone in this group forgot to deselect auto renew.
You're blaming yourself, I'm hoping.
Listen, I'm not pointing at anyone.
All right, good. Since you're not pointing at anyone, let's move on.
You better fucking use it. Does it cost me a fucking $120?
I will. I promise I will. We'll get some content out there. But like I was saying, thank you, Chris, a reminder. Definitely in the off-season mode here. Don't want to take a lot of time, but kind of want to bring people up to speed. There was a good amount of changes in like quarterbacks, some big name wide receivers on the move. So I thought it'd be a good idea to kind of group them together, throw it to you guys, get your quick thoughts on it, and we'll move on. Okay. Let's start with the
Sounds good.
quarterbacks. That's where everyone thinks starts and ends. Russell Wilson is with the Giants now. Sam Darnold is with the Seahawks. Geno Smith moved over to the Raiders because Sam Darnold took his space. Justin Fields, our last hope and savior, is with the Jets, and Daniel Jones is with the Colts. And not the last one. Last one's just for John. I'm sorry, that was a secondary news. But among the five, do you see anything working out amazingly? Anyone taking that leap? Anyone relevant for fantasy even? Any thoughts? If you have no thoughts, we can move on
For
to
me, it's Fields. I think that's the only one that has the most upside. Sam Darnold is probably second. See, he's doing the thing again. If you're watching on video, Miller's doing the thing again where he forgets he's on video and
No,
just
I'm
starts
not. I
mouthing
just
words.
didn't want to say it. I wanted to,
Just say
but I
it.
guess I will. Get off your knees, you little bitch.
Oh, we'll find out where your knees
Yeah,
are
we
at,
will
brother.
find out. Fucking
Oh,
Justin
in all
Fields.
seriousness-
Justin Fields.
In all seriousness, Justin Fields should have a better time with the Jets than he did with the
Oh,
Bears.
come on. Give me a fucking break.
There
If he
was a
gets
lot of
benched-
positivity around the Jets, Miller. Like Justin
Have you
Fields.
watched recently? Because you don't pay attention to our group chat anymore. Because Fields is like 7 for 30 with like 4 interceptions.
I
And
didn't
Wait, are we
say-
really talking about
I didn't say he has
Caleb
to learn
Williams
how to
couldn't hit the
throw.
fucking net?
Dude,
He threw a
I'm
ball
not-
and hit
we're
the
not talking
fucking
about the Bears.
ground.
We're not talking about the Bears. We're talking
Okay,
about
I'll
your
save
Lord
that one
and
again.
Savior.
I'll repeat that one when we get there. Go ahead then.
We were talking about your Lord and Savior, Justin Fields. The bottom line is he still can't throw down the middle of the field. Never could. All he has is an arm and his legs. So is he fantasy relevant? Of course he's fantasy relevant because he's going to run a lot. The Jets are going to suck. They want the high draft pick. Fields is not going to be good. That none of those. Geno Smith is the only one that has a shot because he's with Pete Carroll
Okay.
and with the Raiders.
Also, I'm
but-
surprised you didn't put Rodgers to Steelers on this list.
That was way late. ChatGPT.
He forgot that.
Yeah, ChatGPT didn't get that far. It's only up to like 2 months ago news. But I was gonna say I think Jets over under is like 5.5. I think that might be a easy.
That's
over.
fair.
Yeah, that's an easy.
An
over.
easy over. Jesus Christ, you're on your knees too. My
But
God.
Miller,
got
of all the
nothing to do
names,
with no, it's got nothing to do with Fields. I think there's lots of positivity around that team.
Miller, of all the names on that quarterback list that we just talked about, who do you think is the best like stock mover here?
What does
It
that
has to
mean?
be Fields. Like,
What does that mean?
Who gives the best upside to them?
So not the guy that just went 13-4. You don't
Team.
think Sam
That's a
Darnold?
team game too. It's a team game. Let's not say it's
It
not.
is a team game.
I mean, he's
So-
sucked for 6 years before that. So why don't we take account of that?
So is
too?
Fields. At least he has one good season under his belt. I'm just.
So you're saying
Okay.
Darnold over Fields right now, or Jones
What does
over
that
Fields?
even mean?
Who has the better upside right now?
Yeah, we'll have a better season.
I think they're all gonna suck.
He
They're all
doesn't understand the
shitty
question.
quarterbacks.
On that positive note,
Move
I
on,
don't want to take Darnold over Fields because I don't think either of them are very good.
all right, wide receivers on the move. Hopefully, this brings out positivity from you, Miller. Stephon Diggs is now with the Patriots. Devontae is a Ram. Cooper Kupp moved over to Seattle. Christian Kirk is a Texan. DK Metcalf is a Steeler. Again, probably some better names than the quarterback, bit higher tier than them for sure. Same question. Any significant ones? Anyone moves the needle for you one way or the other?
Metcalf all day.
That's huge.
Yeah, but they still have a 44-year-old throwing him the quarterback.
That's true. But Metcalf, like looking at AJ Brown, how he moved from Titans.
Okay, calm down. He was like 23 when he moved.
Yeah,
Quite different. Metcalf's
Don't let him
old.
get to you, Boobin. Don't let him get to you.
Metcalf has been on some stellar fucking wide receiver cores.
I don't know. It's stellar. He had one.
Tyler Lockett?
He had Lockett with him. Okay.
Lockett younger was really good, and he had JSN last year.
He did. Okay. Fair enough. That's what I wanted more than anything. The last one. The coaches that moved. Miller already brought one. Jaguars have a new head coach, Liam Cohen. The Raiders have Pete Carroll, like we talked about. Patriots have Mike Vrabel now. Jets have Aaron Glenn. Saints have Kellen Moore. Any news you've heard that like kind of again helps you root for one team or maybe hate the other team or vice versa? Anything there stand out to you?
Shitty coaches on shitty teams.
I don't know. Pete Carroll kicking someone out of the team because they kissed someone on the forehead is nuts.
That's an interesting story. Supposedly,
Allegedly.
supposedly,
Allegedly.
supposedly he was not rehabbing properly, and that story was planted for Adam
Allegedly.
Schefter to like share. Again, lots going on there, but um, I think I'm again some positive news, and it happens probably most off season is Jaguars head coach Liam Cohen. He's doing some good stuff in there. I've heard. I don't know that might be a team to look out for, especially in that weak division right
I
there.
think a lot of the head coaches, especially our new head coach, you're going to see a lot more news coming out of the new head coaches than anything else. So I like Vrabel's already made news, Glenn's made news, Cohen's made news, Carroll's made news. So it's like it doesn't mean that they're going to have a good year.
Yeah,
It's
no,
irrelevant at this point.
I mean, like they have lots to do, like here, right? Culture and everything. Okay,
Hmm.
the last one and probably the most important one, if we want to talk about it. The training camps are happening right now, but there's some very intriguing player situations happening. Um, Mostly want to know if you think any of these players will like the holdout will go into the season or they might get traded. I know the chances are very slim, but between Micah Parsons with the Cowboys, Terry McLaurin with the Commanders, James Cook with the Bills, Trey Hendrickson with the Bengals, and Juwan Jennings with the 49ers. That's like the last two are probably solved at this point. But you see any of these playmakers moving teams? Maybe the holdout goes into the season because they are currently not practicing with their teams.
I have a question though. Are they still getting fined?
No, because they're holding in.
So
Oh,
They don't get fined.
if they hold in,
Yeah.
man, it was hefty too. It was like 800,000 or something.
Yeah. So they don't get fined. No. Do I see anything happening? Realistically, no, I don't see anything happening.
I think Parsons comes back to play.
I think Parsons gets paid.
I feel like
I don't know if he
Cowboys
gets
do this
paid.
every season, right? They did that with
Yeah.
Dak. They did that with
Yeah, but Jerry Jones doesn't say that his court or his wide receiver got more cheers than Parsons or something like that when they were saying pay the man. Something verbatim. It
He's an
wasn't
idiot.
right. So like you don't say that and then expect Parsons to come back and be like, "Well, I want to be one of the highest paid." Like that's already a no
It's all
go.
he already said. What Parsons did was negotiation when he wrote his Twitter post or whatever he did. So it's all he's playing the game. It's all he's doing, Chris.
Yeah, but if you're doubling down on that, you don't play unless you want to play what 3 weeks before the trade deadline. Like there's no win in
You,
that. There's
you,
no
like
win.
I don't foresee very many players holding out and not playing games anymore.
I mean,
Look at what we've seen in the past. We saw Le'Veon Bell. He did it for a whole season. He was done after that. You saw what's his name for the Giants do it last year or whatever. He was basically done. The pass rusher, forgot his name, basically done. He's irrelevant. Hassan Reddick. He
oh
was like
yeah,
one of the best for
Jets,
the
Jets,
Eagles.
Jets.
Then he
Yeah.
went to the Jets. He did the holdout thing, and now he's a nobody. Like these guys' careers are so short. You cannot do that anymore. What you got to do is you just got to suck it up and play. That's what these owners want. That's what
I
you got to do, and then you move on.
That's an interesting point. Remember, Jamar Chase was a hold in last year. Didn't attend the whole camp, and then Bengals started slow, and then at the end, right? They were like playing every game as a must win. So even though there's like no probably significant way to track this, but there is an impact. So Cowboys right now, right? They have some positive momentum. They have a lot of things going for them. Why not pay the man and then have this guy in your camp while having some positive momentum in your team, possibly helping you win that extra game or two now. So like later in the year, you're not chasing down wins. I figured it'd be because you will end up paying this man. Like it may be like a million short or a million more, but like I feel like that positive buzz you can get from like him having there and practicing with the team. I feel like that's the only thing that's a downside here.
But
Uh,
Miller, I don't know if you were going to say something. I was going to ask a question to the group, but go ahead, Miller.
So a lot of people speculate that this is just Jerry Jones wanting to get clicks
He
because
does this every year.
he's
Every
been
year.
doing this a lot. He's done it with Dak. He's done it with Zeke. He's done it with CD.
Yeah.
And every year he's gotten fucked royally by not paying these guys. So a lot of people are speculating that it's just strictly he wants to be in the news. He wants the Cowboys in the news, so he lets these people do it because he's losing millions of dollars. Like he should have realistically. Parsons was the best player last year. He was probably the best defensive player the year before. Like he's top 3 for sure. So why not pay him early and then not have to deal with it? To your point, and it's just like it's stupid this way that he runs his business. But
So I'm glad you brought that up because this was going to be my question. And I purposely waited till we all started talking because I was going to do it on the group chat, but I feel like I was going to get ignored like usual.
I don't ever ignore you when you're smart.
Are we at the point that it's not about money anymore and it's about years on contracts?
No, it's always about money.
I feel like it's about guaranteed
It's
money
shorter.
now.
It's shorter years with the guarantees. That's what I'm saying.
It's only shorter years when they're older.
Yeah. The
if they're in their first contract, they want 5 years. Most of these guys get 5
most
years.
Most of the renewals that I've seen has been like 3 years guaranteed, and then the option is the fourth. Like
they're both
back
older.
then, like a couple years ago, it used to be higher.
Yeah. Miles Garrett,
just general.
Yeah. Miles Garrett,
just talking
TJ Watt, right? Similar contracts to Micah Parsons.
I feel like
they were all 3-year guaranteed, basically contracts. Like
I think a lot of contracts are usually 4 or 5 years now if they're coming into their second contract. Keep in mind, a lot of this plays off of, was it a first round pick, second round pick? Because first round pick goes 5 years typically. Second round pick only goes 4. So it all depends on stuff like that. But typically, if you're a solid player, it's going to be a 4 or 5 year extension. And then the lesser, as you get older, like Terry, the Washington Commanders guy,
McLaurin.
He's old. He's turning 30 this year in November. So that's why his will probably be a shorter deal when he signs it.
But that's what I'm saying. You're saying it's a shorter deal, but it's a higher number. So wasn't it before like you can kind of split that number off by adding more to the contract, more years to the contract? Like I don't see that anymore.
They still do that.
I mean, it's all about the number, dude. All these guys care about is either getting the most guaranteed or the most annual paid. That's all they care about. It's either one or the other.
Yeah, like, and the money, they still move it around, Chris. Like the cap hit, like whatever, they'll make it signing bonus, whatever, move a bunch of money up front.
No, they'll just trade them.
Move it behind. Like they still move the money.
They just cut them. They just cut them
after the guarantee's all done.
Look at what the Broncos did with Russell.
Yeah,
but that's different.
They did with that
was new ownership. That was new management.
Was it like 89?
No,
new ownership.
Look at the Raiders DT. 2 years, like 70 million deal. Like he got let go after 1 year, 5 games, and injury. Like, yeah,
wasn't he? He was like a 5-year, wasn't he?
Was he 5? I thought it was 2 year guaranteed. Like
no,
he million.
was no. I think it was a lot more than that.
Was it okay? I thought it was 2 year, but
he was like one of the biggest free agents last year.
He was on the Hard Knocks. He was a baller. I thought he was like with the other guy on the other side, Crosby. Like I think he'd have a great year, for sure. But no, like it's interesting. It's a business, right? And some business decisions are definitely getting made. But yeah,
I think a lot of people are realizing that you can't deal with shitty fucking players. Not saying that some of these guys are shitty players, but like when you look at
just did, but okay.
Yeah, you just did.
When you look at someone like Russell Wilson, like when you trade this and Sean Payton comes in and he realizes this guy is shit, like you just got to cut bait.
Fucking
you just got to cut bait and let him go.
Jets, like what do they eat for Aaron Rodgers? Like 50 mil or something, right? That's his cap hit. It's like insane, right?
But I think they got some money back with the insurance, so it's not that bad.
They did? Okay. Like it was like an insane number for a cap hit. Just like the Packers, that's why they traded him. Anyway.
But again, that's new management. They could have kept Rodgers. Like a lot of it is going to come to preferences, obviously. But what I'm saying is like I'm more talking Parsons. I think Hendrickson should get paid.
He's not going to get paid. There's no way Hendrickson's going to get paid.
I know, but he should.
No, like the funny thing
he's old. It goes back to age. These guys are old.
He still has to get paid at least 3 years, though. Come on.
They're not giving 3. It's going to be 1 or 2.
Guys, this is beautiful because that's literally the argument there. He wants more years, and they are trying to get him 1 year, 2 year, but higher money. That's literally the argument they're having right now.
That's why I asked.
This is beautiful that you guys like kind of got there. All right. That was the catch up. Here's what happened in the league in like a freaking 30,000 feet view because Miller won't let me talk more about this.
True.
For the next section, Miller, I'm gonna hand it off to you. We'll be focused on the Bears, talk about their changes, what they did this offseason.
Oh, you mean the actual name of the podcast of the Chicago Bears podcast? Great.
No,
I'm
it's
so
not.
happy.
It's not in the name. That's the name is
if-
Trio
if-
of
if-
I'm
Positivity.
so happy that we
Chris,
just wasted
what's
20
the name
minutes.
again? What's the name
It's
of the
Trio of
podcast?
Positivity,
That-
even though
that's what I
it's
thought.
2/3 right now. But yeah, go ahead.
We talked about we talked about so much things relevant to the city of Chicago. I would have rather talked about fucking Lollapalooza than that bullshit.
Hey, Sabrina's Carpenter set was great, but Hulu did a shit job of showing that production.
Oh, well, it was on
I
Hulu.
didn't
I
even know
remember.
Sabrina
on
was
Hulu.
on it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sabrina
All I
Carpenter
heard was a
there.
lot of good shit about Olivia Rodrigo. She had
Hers-
Weezer
hers-
come out.
Hers is
She
out
did.
on YouTube. You can find that one. That one's pretty good too.
And Sabrina had Earth, Fire, and Wind.
Earth,
come
Wind,
on.
and Earth, Wind, and Fire. How dare you name them wrong? It's Earth, Wind, and Fire. God damn it.
Jesus.
They have one song I know. That's all. That's all.
They
I
have 3. How dare you?
I know one. That comes at every wedding I go to. Miller, I'm over to you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get to the crux of the fucking podcast here and dive into our Chicago motherfucking Bears. Guys, we have a fucking game in less than 6 days. Quick math, kind of close. Something like that. 5 or 6 days. Can't wait. It's our first preseason game against the Miami Dolphins, and things are raring to go. So what? We haven't been here. We haven't talked to you since January. What the fuck happened? Well, first of all, this year goes way too fucking fast. But what happened with our Bears? I would almost call this, well, we definitely won the postseason if you want to do that for what? Not 1, not 2, not 3. What is this? Our 3rd year winning the
I hate
offseason?
that term. I officially hate that term.
I think
the
it is,
dumbest
though.
shit.
I think it is, though.
Dumbest shit.
It is stupid. But we definitely won the
Chris,
offseason.
we gotta own it. We gotta own it. That's the only way they're gonna
No,
get us.
we
That's the only-
don't.
That's the only thing we win, Chris. Just own it. Why did we win the offseason, did you say? Well, we'll start. I'll get your guys' opinion as we flow. Let's first talk about coaches that actually matter to this fucking listening group, and that is the coaches for the Chicago Bears. So first and foremost, we hired the hottest coach on the market. We hired Ben Johnson. We gave him a record-setting deal, and this is arguably the first time that a Chicago Bears organization has actually gone all in on a head coach. And they paid Ben Johnson the money. Obviously, most of us know him. He was the offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions. Comes in with I believe the Lions were the hottest offense last year, number 1 rated.
Definitely.
So hopefully he can translate that to our end. On top of that, they got one of the hottest defensive coordinators on the market.
Before we get there, I know this like off-season champs gets a bad moniker, but that is truly, I'm okay with that. If that's what it brings to us, if we having the hottest coach out there that every other team, Tom Brady fucking wanted, and we got him, and that's why we get off-season champs. Fuck it. I don't care if they call it that. That was worth it.
I agree with you, but to bring in our commentator from the outside, Ben, as he likes to say, is it really off-season champs if nothing really happens relevant?
That's why it's called off-season. It's not the season.
No, I mean, we were the last 2 off-season champs, but what have they have translated to? Nothing. So why are they really the champs? Like, you're champs today, but it doesn't really mean anything going forward. It's
like okay, I get it. It's like planting an apple tree. You know, you plant an apple tree. Are you getting apple the first year? Maybe not. Shitty apples, if anything. 2 years, probably not. But maybe there's potential. 3rd year, that's when the apples start growing. You know, that's what we have done the last 2 off seasons, boys.
And you shut up my spiel for that. Thank you. Okay,
hey, just out of curiosity. It's 2 to 5 years for apple trees to produce fruits, not just 2.
Did you fucking Google that?
I did. And if you want good ones, it's 10 to 15 years. So let's be careful here.
I mean, Dynasty, 10 to 15. Let's go.
Oh, my God. Going back to important information, So we also hired the biggest defensive coordinator on the market, Dennis Allen. He was the former head coach of the New Orleans Saints.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, he's previous head coach experience and also is a respected defensive coordinator in this league. We brought in the youngest offensive coordinator in the league with Declan Doyle. That has a little caveat there. We don't know how he's going to do. He was a tight end coach with the Broncos, but obviously they had a very successful offense under Bo Nix last year. So that was, we'll see. We'll see how that one turns out. Ben Johnson's realistically going to be our OC, but Declan Doyle's going to be there to help him along the way. And then some big position group guys that we brought in. Antoine Randall L., who is probably familiar with most of you, is a former wide receiver in this league. He's going to be the wide receiver coach. And then Eric Bieniemy, which was quite the name to bring in. He came in from college, but obviously most of us know him from the offensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs. We brought him as the running back coach. So those were some great coaching hires that we brought in for the Bears, and we're really seeing fruits of the labor at training camp right now. What are your thoughts on those big hires?
Chris,
Well,
what
you're
you got?
missing one big news here that I'm surprised you didn't cover.
What?
After all of this happened, polls got extended to 2029. How do you forget to not include that?
Because it was
The
the
winner,
head coach section.
the GM winner of the two past off seasons that he's had.
Hang on,
It
I
was-
actually have actual relevant things to talk about. But have you guys noticed this trend of former head coaches being hired as DCs? Eberflus is a DC with the Cowboys now. Kellen Moore hired
Guys,
Brandon Stanley. Like, no, I just wanted to see. It was like kind of cool that like former head coaches are becoming DCs. I thought that was cool.
I'm
What
glad everybody listens to my Bears talk, but it's not really cool. Like, it's just it's basically the NFL runs off of the hottest coordinators, and everybody's trying to find the next coordinator, right? So you have your Sean McVays, you have your Kyle Shanahans, you have the people like that make their names, and they're the hottest coordinator at the time, like Ben Johnson is. But some of these guys, the hottest coordinator, they just don't make it as head coaches. And what happens when you don't make it as a head coach? Well, you go back to what you know. And that's what happened with Dennis Allen. He was a very good defensive coordinator that came in, tried to be a head coach. It didn't work. That's what happened with Matt Eberflus. Well, that was not the greatest hire, but that's what happened. He was a respected defensive coordinator. They bring him in, doesn't work. I mean, wouldn't call that cool. Basically, you're calling their failure cool, but it's basically them failing as a head coach,
like the part
and going back to what they know.
The part that's cool with me is like Ben Johnson, right? He's a first time head coach. If I'm bringing a former head coach to my house, like that's like kind of cool. Like it's like either he doesn't have an ego or he's like big enough to be like, there's parts of the game I'm very good at, but there's like I need help with it. So he's bringing someone who's like technically has a higher stature than him, is what I wanted to say. It was like kind of cool on the Bears end that he has a head coach that's like he's like, hey, come help me with this, like kind of a thing was what I was hinting at.
I
So-
love it.
so-
Are you going to talk about this or talking something else?
To go back to Miller's original point before we piss him off, I was one of the first to say that the Bears would not get Ben Johnson. I remember a couple episodes where we were discussing like, should the
That was
Bears
the-
move on this, and should
That was the last
like, what-
episode. I read the notes before this show.
yeah, and we were kind of surprised that because we thought Johnson to the Raiders was a done deal. We basically everything that we read was a done deal, and then some stuff started coming out that they actually had conversations, and I guess polls gave him what he wanted. There was no other way to there was no other way to explain it at that time. And now you're kind of seeing all of these coaches come in, and there have been great conversations that I've read, updates on training camp about how these coaches have been working, especially during rookie camp. So like it was good to hear. It looks like they're gelling quite well.
Definitely, yeah. Coaches have been great.
Ben
Johnson
yelling at the running backs has been great.
Yeah. Ben Johnson really seems to command the room. We just had our special teams coach who we kept from the previous regime, came out today and said that Ben Johnson is far and away one of the best coaches that he's worked with, and he's worked with some of the former champs. I forget the ones that he named, but John Fox was the only one that I remember, but there were a few others that actually won the Super Bowl, not only got there, but very high praise coming for Ben Johnson from coaches on the coaching staff, as well as some of the players, as well as the accountability that he's holding to multiple players on this team. And we knew that lacked last year. So let's keep it rolling here. The head coaches came. That is obviously a big domino to fall. It's important. We came from the shit show that was last year, and we hope to improve this year, not only with the head coaching, but also the players. So how did we do that? Well, as Chris mentioned, we signed our GM to 3 additional years to line him up with Ben Johnson. Why did we do that? Well, he had a pretty good offseason, as we talked about, not only in head coach.
I heard we had
He
champs. Yeah.
also brought in some linemen, and not in the draft. He pulled off 2 trades before the draft and free agency started. One for Joe Thuney and one for Jonah Jackson. Joe Thuney that trade was very highly regarded because Joe Thuney, if you remember, was an all-pro guard last year. An all-pro guard last year. And we traded a 4th-round pick for it. Jonah Jackson was a right guard for the Rams. He had a pretty bad year, to say the least, with them, mainly due to injuries.
Hey, don't make Ben force you say things.
I was trying to say, this is rehearsed.
I mean, did he not have a bad year? He only played like 4 games. But Jonah Jackson did play with Ben Johnson in Detroit prior to that. So he brought in 2 guards to solidify the interior of our offensive line, which was a huge addition. He proceeded to extend Joe Thuney. So everybody's very excited about that. Having a solid piece on that offensive line, particularly at the left guard position for at least 3 years, is fucking awesome for this team. Thoughts on the trades?
I mean, Tooney played guard and he also played left tackle, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, he wasn't very good at left tackle.
But I think they won the Super Bowl that year, didn't they? Or was
no, it was last year, and they did not win the Super Bowl last year.
Cool. Like that's a huge, that's very different positions, very different assignment. The fact that he's versatile enough, I like that. We gave a 4th-round pick next year for that. Like, I think that's a heck of a trade. Jonah Jackson, like you said, we didn't give up very much. We just gave a 6th-round pick this year for them. So again, I think the interior of the line is rebuilt, like you said. We'll cover one more in a minute, but I'm very excited. I think that was the opportunity, right? With the team, with all the sacks Caleb took, I'm very excited to see how these trades help us better, especially the interior of the line.
All right. Anything, Chris? Okay. Moving on. Maybe we should just make this an NFL show instead of the Chicago Bears show. Oh, okay. Moving on to the free agents that we brought in. Okay. So obviously we pulled off those 2 trades to get the guards on the offensive line. Then free agency opened, and what do? We go and get one of the biggest free agent linemen on the market. The center out of Atlanta, Drew Dahlman, was connected to the Bears in many ways. And everybody was hoping and praying that we were going to get him, and they pulled it off. So not only are we talking about the Bears getting the biggest head coach on the market, but we arguably got the biggest offensive lineman on that market as well in Drew Dahlman. So we completely changed the interior of the defense or the offense and completely transformed it from what it was last year. And not only did he focus on the offense, he then looked at the defensive line as well. Obviously, 2 big weaknesses, if you really look at last year, was the offensive and the defensive line. So the defensive line, what they did is they signed their big edge position was Dayo Odeyingo. I have not practiced that shit. That was awful. That was so awful. Oh God.
Odeyingo?
Odeyingo, sure. We got Dio on the opposite end of Montez Sweat. A little bit of concern with Dio. We paid him a lot of money, and he doesn't have much of the proven success. The only thing that I can say for Dio is that we have a lot of analysts that are very much excited of how well he fits with Dennis Allen's defense. So we got to hold our hopes there and hope that he makes an impact. But the one big move that they made was they signed Grady Jarrett, a multi-time Pro Bowler from Atlanta. They got him because of cuts, and he is currently going to help our defensive front as well, along with Dio. So two big defensive front free agents that were signed. We did sign some other guys, but those were the three big ones that we brought in. What are our thoughts there, boys?
Gotta push back a little bit. Drew Dahlman was probably one of the best centers. I don't know about the best O lineman in the free agency, but anyway.
Okay, are
Drew,
you going to provide me with another name before you say I'm wrong?
let me think about that. But I'm gonna talk about Dio. You're right. He's young. It's like very interesting. We got younger with Dio, and Grady is probably on the older side, so it'll be like a good rotation with the people we already have, the second year players, third year players that we have on the line. But I think it's interesting. Um, Defenses are usually ahead of offenses in training camps, but the defense has been getting some good buzz.
We're not on the
In
trading camp park, okay?
So sorry to ruin your surprise, but the defense is getting some good buzz in the aforementioned things that they're doing right now, the organized camps that they're doing right now. Sorry, Chris, what you got?
It's polls doing polls things.
Okay, awesome. Great.
You guys know I don't really care about like going into the free agencies and stuff. Although I will say this free agency was actually a lot of fun to like follow.
Outside, yeah, no, definitely.
You literally talk 20 minutes about Justin Fields, yet you don't even fucking give a shit about your own team. Got it. That's where your loyalty lies. Can't wait to be with you all season on the Trio Positivity when we talk about the Bears. Moving on to the NFL draft. Obviously, when you talk about the off season, there's two big periods. You got the free agency period and the draft period. We covered the free agency. Now let's dive into the draft. So when we talk about the draft, the Bears obviously had a first round pick. And I believe, if I'm correct, they had 2 second-round picks. Well, what did we come away with? You might think that we came away with some defensive studs. We did not. We focused solely on the offensive side of the ball, specifically with pick number 10. The first round selection of Colston Loveland, a completely surprise out of left field, the tight end out of Michigan, before Tyler Warren, who was projected to be the number one tight end off the board. This was a controversial pick, not liked by many, including myself, but hey, I can't control it. What were your guys' thoughts on that pick?
The funny thing was we were like mocked the other tight end that went to the Colts a couple of picks later. It's a very different kind of a tight end. That like the two tight ends were very different. One was like a blocking more, less of a maybe offensive threat, and the other one was like probably a better receiver. So the focus I think is clear. We'll probably run a lot of two tight end sets, and so supposedly he fit our scheme that we're gonna run better. Um, Again, like you said, a big surprise. But looking back now, I see why we picked him and what we're gonna try and do with him this year.
I still don't know why we went tight end. I think that is more of the confusing thing. Um, I think when we were looking at tight ends, and you guys mentioned Warren, right? I think he was older. I think Loveland is younger by like a couple years, if I don't recall. So maybe that might have some into it, like might have some stuff where they might see longevity with him. But I still need to see more, and we'll talk about it in the next couple segments when we get to that part. But yeah, it was very surprising to see that we went with tight end.
Yeah. Absolutely. I have liked what I've heard, but first round selection was a tight end. So naturally, we have a second round pick. We're like, here we go, baby. Let's get into those defensive lines. Nope. We keep with the offense. We picked a wide receiver. Luther Burden the third
Also a surprise. Also a
was our
surprise.
pick at the top of the second round. We proceeded to trade our third round. I think we traded back in, or something happened. We traded back. We traded back one of our second round picks and got two other picks. So we got Luther Burden, wide receiver, complete surprise there as well. Then we got our tackle, Ozzie Trapilo, was another second round pick. And finally, we got our defensive line, Shamar Turner, after that. So first, Luther Burden, wide receiver, highly regarded. He was probably projected as almost one of the best picks in the draft because he did fall to us. Ozzie Trapilo was a huge mammoth of an individual, a right tackle, but has been converted to left tackle at training camp. And then finally, Shamar Turner, defensive tackle to help the defensive line, is hurt, status unknown as to if he will be a week one starter. What are your thoughts there on our second round picks?
The rumor is we wanted to pick a running back in the second round, maybe even late first, but the teams ahead of us kept picking the guys we wanted. That's why we kept trading back. That's how Luther Burden supposedly came to be. The most ones I've seen is the running back that went to New England was the one we were ready to draft before we traded back, I believe, and picked up Luther Burden. But um,
No. Luther Burden was our pick. We traded back. You are right about the Henderson thing. We did want him, but he went like two picks before our Luther Burden pick. I don't think we traded back that
we,
pick. I think it was the second round pick that we traded back.
Thank you for correcting me. The Samar one, I've heard a month into the season, like he's not no way. Like the best expectation is he'll join us like later in the year. That's what I've heard. But yeah, Ozzy is competing in left tackle, which is amazing. Like it's hard to find good left tackle, so that's a positive thing there too.
Yeah, I think Miller kind of hit it with Burden. Um, just the draft strategy, I think this year was. I think we were expecting one thing and they went another way. It could be rewarding. That's not saying that it's not bad. I think Burden was projected at some point to be like a first rounder, and then he had like a bad fall. So I think the Bears probably still saw something in him. But I think the only one that I recall was Burden that kind of was like,
Like it's pretty interesting. Like Loveland was like the number one tight end for a lot of people. Like Burden was like maybe not number one wide receiver, but like pretty high for some people, and he was off the board for
Loveland
some
was
people.
not.
I don't think
Loveland
the
was
Loveland was number one tight end for
no.
anybody.
I don't think
I can show you like there's definitely like drafts I've heard where he was the number one over Warren. Definitely,
Hmm.
I've seen. I can
I
give you
always
his
felt they
receipts.
were a coin flip.
I didn't. I thought Tyler Warren was far and away the best tight end on the board. I heard that. I will say, with to Bupin's point, you started to hear Loveland's name a little bit more as we got closer to the draft. But Tyler Warren, because of the records that I believe he set last year, was far and away like the tight end number one, and that's why we had a lot of mocks projecting that the Bears take him. There was quite a few stories that came out after the draft talking about Loveland in particular, how a lot of teams were trying to trade up to get him. And then once the Bears took him, the trade market kind of went quiet. So it seemed like he was very much a commodity that a lot of people wanted. But a lot of the people that I talked to had Warren ahead of, talked to, listened to, had Warren ahead of Loveland. So
Yeah.
it's interesting. What is your thought process in regards to polls and Ben Johnson's influence on this draft?
Um,
Honestly, I don't know.
it's
And
kind of lovely and scary, right? Like we're like going all in on Ben Johnson, which is awesome. That's what you want to see, right? You brought this hotshot guy, give him all the thing, but he has like literally has full reins. It seems I don't know. All of the picks seem to like be in the direction we're trying to go, which is usually like drafts are sometimes forward looking, blah 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 blah. But like it's kind of scary and interesting that he has so much control. I think.
Poles has always been known to do stuff in drafts, so like trading up and down. I think we always expect some kind of movement with him. But this draft, we were expected to do certain things, like Miller said, like go defense. We needed to help on the defensive side, and then we just didn't. That's the part where I genuinely just don't know if that's a Ben Johnson decision or if that was a polls trying to say like, hey, these are the people that we need for whatever reason. Like I don't know. Did we do that last year?
I
Like, you know what I'm
I
saying? Like as far as draft strategies go, I don't know.
I 100% think it's Ben Johnson. I went into this draft thinking that Poles was going to try to take the reins, and in a way, he kind of did with what he did in free agency and the trades. He really solidified the lines, which is what we were looking for at the end of last season. But I
I
really
mean, the O
didn't think.
linemen, the O linemen in the draft were like not as high regarded too, right? Like at least the ones that would fall to us, they were not like top of the
Yeah,
draft
there
class.
was a big drop off, if I remember.
Mm.
Specifically, the interior positions. I don't think they were as good, but I really think that, although I hate to say it, I think this very much was a Ben Johnson draft. I think Poles just kind of really took his opinion to heart and was like, okay, this is what we're going to do. Let's do it. Let's get the wide receiver that fits your scheme. Let's get
Exactly.
the tight end that fits your scheme, since you're going to be running a lot of 12 men fronts, and just like, just, just do it. And
Yeah.
well, who knows how it's going to work out and if it's going to work. But I honestly, at this point, I probably trust Ben Johnson more than I trust Ryan Poles. So
I see. That's too early. It's too early for me to even go that far.
I
why?
it is
Please
beautiful to
expand.
see. It's beautiful to see they're working together. Is what I
Like,
would say.
Why?
okay, it's great that they're working together, but it's not proven. Like, it's nothing proven yet. So I can't just
But
say
what isn't proven? Yes, he's not proven as a head coach, but he's proven as an offensive coordinator. He
right,
had the
but
best offense last year, so why isn't him
it's
picking
different.
offensive pieces a something
It's
that is
it's
not proven?
it's different when you are running it, and then it's different when you're requesting certain players. I think there's a big difference. If you have
So
players
you
that
don't think he had an impact in
no,
Detroit?
no,
You
that's not
don't think that he took Sam
with that.
Laporta in Detroit? You don't think he took Jamar Gibbs in Detroit? You don't think he had
I
a
don't think he had
part
final
of it?
choices though. That's what I'm saying.
I think he was a part of the conversation.
Okay, you can be a part of the conversation, but what it sounds like you're saying like he had final say.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that he was a part of the process. So
Yeah,
he
all the
knows
coaches are a part
talent
of the
when he sees
process.
it.
That happens. All the coaches see talent. All the coaches see that's irrelevant. That statement is such
Okay.
bullshit. Like what some so there's coaches like fucking Philadelphia doesn't know what they're doing when they're in their draft. Like obviously they know what they're doing. Kansas City knows what they're doing. Like it's we can't say that that's not the like if you're connect like let me just go back because I'm gonna go all over the place. If we're just saying Poles and Johnson are connected, that's great. Whether it's Johnson that's saying these are the pieces that I need, and then Poles went out and get it. I don't know if I 100% agree with that just yet. That's all I'm saying.
I'm just stating that if I have the mastermind behind a number one offense in the league, I would trust his decision on offensive pieces more than I would trust Ryan Poles drafting players when he
But
doesn't
see,
have the greatest draft record.
where I am at is if I'm Ben Johnson, I say, hey, if you're going to draft the wide receiver needs to have these three traits. That, and then you need to find me the player with those three traits.
Yeah.
So
I
that's the difference.
hate to compare, but like Amon-Ra St. Brown, right on the Lions, like that's what I see. Like not, obviously he's proven, so Luther Burn is very different, but like that's what I've heard. Blocks a lot, doesn't mind doing the dirty work, but also can play wide receiver. That's what I look at when I see that. So I see your point, Chris. I see why it's scary, but like I think it's like intriguing. It's like going on a first date or second date, and like kind of knowing that that's the one, and kind of like sharing things with them you don't want to
It's
share
like
with them.
literally going on a first date and it's like, boom, we already have kids. Like that's how it feels like.
Here's the deed to a house.
Like it's a good, whether it's a good thing or
Get
it's bad.
used
I'm
to it.
indifferent. That's all
Get
I'm saying.
used to it. This is what happens when you bring in a head coach with his stature. All right, a quick note here just to throw out. I'm not going to cover all the draft picks. As Boopin mentioned, the Bears were projected to get a running back, and they did finally in the 7th round. Kyle Monangai was drafted. He was a guy out of Rutgers. He was a running back out of Rutgers. Had a lot of success last year, obviously in the Big Ten, but obviously it's a smaller school. With that being said, I did want to shout him out because it does appear like he will be in the running back room this year. Ben Johnson did make a comment recently that we should expect to see him in the fall. So interesting there. It looks like he has planted his flag on the roster. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of impact he does going into the season.
Yeah. Again, looks like doesn't mind doing the dirty work. Lots of blocking and passing plays. Solid ad, I think. 7th round looks so far so good.
All right, that kind of covers the offseason. Outside of that, we had rookie mini camp earlier this year and initial training camp over these last few weeks. Any stories have stuck out with you guys over these past week or two?
We kind of preluded to it already. Offense seems behind. Caleb seems overwhelmed. Interceptions. He's learning a new the part I don't like about this is there's almost too much coverage about this, right? The training camp, whatever. This is when they should make mistakes. They are learning a new thing. That they will stumble, they will fall. I almost feel like it's too much coverage sometimes. But the news coming out is that offense is behind. They had to be taken out and had to run some sprints and stuff like that. At times it was so bad, but offense is behind. Defense looks like it'll be another solid defense, is what I've heard.
I'll get into it because Miller loves him so much. Some of the clips that I'm seeing of Caleb out there are bad. Like there's some good stuff out there, don't get me wrong, but I think people will look at the bad more than they'll look at the good. There's 2 particular clips that are out there. I think the more famous one is where it's the practice net and the very last one doesn't even hit the net. And then he turns around and throws a fit. Sure, you can do that.
That was quarterback competition, right? It was not like
It doesn't matter whether you want to say it's leisure or quarterback competition. If someone records that and you don't hit the net on one of your throws,
no, I'm not saying it was not bad. I was just saying his reaction was probably they probably had who's gonna pick up the tab tonight, bet with the quarterback.
We're not gonna go into all of. I'm just saying what we saw in the video, but the other one was the offensive line just broke down. Caleb's being chased. He goes to the right and just throws a prayer. What Ben Johnson is kind of saying, and I think people are like these daily or not daily. I don't know how often they happen, but every Ben Johnson podium interview that I see, it's like, hey, Caleb did 3 interceptions, or he only completed 6 passes. How is he doing with these changes? And Johnson's like, well, he's learning. So to me, it's almost like they're treating this as Caleb's rookie season, which
pull back the reins, dude. I think he only has 5 interceptions in camp. So calm down before you start talking about every time Ben Johnson goes up there, he has 3 interceptions.
Also, this is when they're supposed to throw interceptions, Chris. So we gotta give
I'm not criticizing the interceptions. If I wanted to criticize the interceptions, I could, but I'm saying the one that looked bad was a whole offensive breakdown.
It looked
that
bad.
Wasn't an interception for the record. It was dropped.
It was dropped, but yes.
Either way, that still looked bad.
There was 2 defenders there. They could have probably picked up who got the
it for a catch. Yeah. But this is what I'm saying. It almost sounds like he's getting a rookie treatment, where
he's learning a new system.
Why isn't he getting a rookie treatment?
No, he's learning a new system.
He's learning an entirely new system in offense And this is offset of the dysfunction that we had last year.
Yeah, and it's much more complex than what he was running too. That's the other part. There's like
Like
but
you,
motions on
Okay, but
everyone.
why? Okay, but here's the thing: if it's more complex, if it's more of these things, and you're treating it as a rookie season, do you really think you want to do that to the guy?
I mean, he's got to
if you
learn.
think you can handle it, like,
Well,
I
I mean,
mean,
and we'll see.
he's not a rookie to your point, but like he's learning in the second offense in 2 years. That's never a good thing for success. So I think there's a lot of stuff thrown at him, and I think he's handling it. I think it's going to take time. I don't expect it week 1 against Minnesota. I expected second half of the year. You go back and look at Detroit and see Jared Goff, and you can see improvement from the Ben Johnson era basically every week after they got Goff. And they really weren't up and running until the second half of that first year. So to expect them to be up and running right out of the gate is unrealistic. But you just hope that he can get there. And there's a lot of
Right.
sloppiness right now. And the one thing that you can kind of hold your hat to is the fact that he's actually holding these players accountable, and he's saying that you fucked up and you got to stop fucking up. And if they don't stop fucking up, then who knows where this team's going to go? It could go straight down the shitter. But
throwing Jared Goff's name into that, where he has so much experience over someone who's getting into his second year, you can't do that. Like that's not
realistically, Caleb should have more talent than Jared Goff.
talent doesn't beat experience, though.
No, that's
Mm.
fair. But over time, if you have the talent and you're good enough, you should be better. Not saying he will be, because he hasn't been, right? Goff is
That's
really
the same.
good
I
at
feel
what
like
he
that's the
does.
same argument we've had
But
with Fields too, though.
what? No,
That talent will overcome experience.
Fields doesn't have talent.
In the first couple of years, we said he did, beating the rushing record and all of that shit. Remember that conversation?
Yes, but it was more on his legs than it was his
No,
arm.
I mean like
That's
no
talent
one,
over experience.
no
I
one
mean,
said he has no talent. Like he may not be a prolific passer of the ball, but I think it's kind of rude or kind of like mean to say that he has no talent.
he was going to be a
Who?
first round draft pick.
Who are you
Field,
talking about?
Fields say he had no talent. I think it's like kind of I don't know, low
Who said
blow.
he had no talent?
That's what I
You
heard.
just did.
I
No,
heard.
he did not.
Go back and
I'm
listen
just
to the
saying.
podcast.
I had to have a second glass of whiskey because of you, okay? I'm just saying that Fields, I was very much on the Fields bandwagon, but his arm never really progressed to what we wanted it to be. It's a
Right.
great deep ball. He doesn't read the middle of the field, can't do a lot with the defense, but he had a hell of a lot of legs. So
Right, but
my thought, what I was always saying with Fields is if he could reach that 3,000 yard mark, he would hit that 1,200 yards on the ground, multiple touchdowns, so he can win that MVP, which is what we talked about a few years ago. But like he never took those steps, and he was and he showed that even with Pittsburgh, when he gets benched being 5-2 with Mike Tomlin, obviously he can't get it done as a quarterback in this league.
I think
We'll see what happens.
I think the benching was a different subject, but what I'm trying to get at is during that first 3 years, it was always Fields has the talent, just needs the experience. This is the same thing that you're saying now about Caleb, where he has the talent over Goff, over the experience. So it's like, are we gonna say like if we have to wait a couple years, okay, we'll wait a couple years, but then it's gonna go back into this cycle of like, okay, by year 3, second year under whatever, like if the Bears have a if the Bears have a bad season, what are the odds that the OC stays?
I
Like
mean,
we don't
I think
know.
that
no,
I
no,
think
no,
this
no, no,
coaching
no.
staff is going to be together for at least 2
Yeah,
years.
at least 2 years. Yeah.
Okay.
Like we cannot say that. Like Miller said, it'll be like probably,
But you
like
understand but you understand my thought process on that. It's like you
Normally,
can
when seasons go bad, coaches are fired. You're
I,
right. Yes.
I feel like again going back to the point of training camp is we live in the Amazon world. Well, we need to have. Hey, this happened. Something needs to happen now. Hey, I need this tomorrow. I need this yesterday.
Twitter world, not
Like,
Amazon.
no,
X.
like it takes time. We are doing the right way, right? The O line is being built. Like
Okay,
we
but
should be
Boopin,
better slowly.
question for you. Question for you.
Yes, sir.
How much is Fields gonna or Fields? I'm sorry. How much did Caleb play with the first offense against the Dolphins?
Oh, I don't know if he's probably gonna play a series. I'm assuming.
Well, it all
So
depends. It all
it all
depends
depends,
on the practice on Friday.
right? It depends,
I think at this point, a lot of coaches deem that more important than the actual preseason game.
right?
Because think of it that way, Dolphins are not playing starters either, probably, right?
Well, no, but still, traditionally, well, I say traditionally, like I'm talking like there's still 4 preseason games. Typically, it was always game 2 or 3 that we were
Okay.
like we would see half,
Yeah.
the first half.
Yeah.
So
Game three. Yeah. Mhm.
if you're in this new system and you're trying to see it with a live defense, should Caleb play more this first preseason game, or should it still be what like one drive and call it a day?
I mean, like, I don't think he's gonna grow at a game setting. He's gonna grow in the training camp and the drills he does behind the scenes, right? This is execution. You want to see if he can actually like put what they practice in play. So I don't think he can like playing 2 series versus one is gonna probably make the difference right now, in my opinion. I think like if you can probably see some opportunities that hey, the whatever the play call here didn't work or whatever, you learn those things like
Mhm.
game execution wise. I don't think you'll build Caleb in the game settings.
See, if it was me, I would have him play like the first quarter and maybe a couple more drives just to
What
get
if
more plays,
I don't know?
like more
People are
live
scared of
plays.
injuries. Like it's hard, right? If
I
they go
mean,
down in
we're gonna get
preseason.
to a point where in like a couple years down the line, there's not even gonna be any preseason games. We're just gonna go straight to one. So like, I mean, it's not gonna matter anyway. But like, I guess what I'm trying to say is if we're using everything that Miller's pointed out, where it's a new system, a new quarterback, a new image, and you want to get as many reps as possible, and trying to do it in a live setting, first couple preseason games would be ideal to see that get put in place.
From what I heard, they had a practice yesterday, day before. That was the most physical
Today,
practice
today.
they have done since Lovey Smith was our coach. So like they are trying to do things differently. So maybe you're right, Chris. Maybe they'll give him more than a series, but I'm assuming
I
he.
think I would appreciate more than one series. I don't know, Miller.
See, like I mentioned, a lot of coaches now focus more on these joint practices than they do on the preseason games. I think the joint practices mean more than the preseason games. So that one-on-one in practice theoretically is more important to a lot of coaches than preseason games. So I don't think they should. They don't even know if they're going to play their starters. They said they're going to do the practice, then the two head coaches are going to get together and discuss if they even want to play the starters on Sunday.
Okay.
So I don't know. We'll
Wait.
see.
Okay. Cool. That's it, people. We are done. First season 3, episode 1 is in the books. We were rusty because it's our off season too. We had lots of technical issues. We will not point
We
any fingers. We'll not
No,
point any.
no fingers will be pointed,
No
especially
fingers.
not at 6:30 tomorrow morning when I wake up.
No fingers will be pointed. Okay, just saying. Um, but that's it, boys. We did it. I don't know if we got music playing, but I'm ready for the outro.
I think it's
Thank you
this
for
one.
thank you for listening. We hope that you will hit the like and subscribe button if you like the show. We are, can we say we're a young podcast? We're a teenager podcast. So any and all feedback is appreciated. Maybe someday in the near future, maybe sooner than we think, we'll have some positivity coming out of Chicago sports. But until then, we will suffer in our misery together. On that positive note, good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.